Today, we gotta talk about something important, just how bad the art job market is. But who am I kidding? The regular job market is just as bad. So this video is gonna be vital to those of y'all who are just graduating from high school or are graduating from college, because we're gonna be talking about landing an art job right out of school. Spoiler alert, it's not looking too good. So we're gonna get into why. And don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There is a small light at the end of the tunnel that we'll discuss towards the end of this video. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I graduated from college 2 years ago, and that's when the game industry layoff started. So I became an adult at the wrong time, just like you. We're in this together. So what can we do? Well, before we answer that question, we first gotta go into how exactly this happened in the first place. So our job market predicament pretty much started back in 2020. Yeah, the horrible lockdown era that we're all still trying to recover from. Okay, so this is the unemployment rate graph, all right? And this is 2020, all right? This is when the lockdowns happened and everyone was losing their jobs. And now it started to go down, and into 2021, it was pretty good, right? See, it's going down. So during 2020 into 2021 was when there's a whole bunch of people staying at home. So the game industry and online entertainment industry just boomed because no one could go outside. So they just stayed home looking at their screens. So the tech industry did great up until 2022. This is the game industry, all right? This is when the layoffs started. So it started in January of 2022, 1,600, and then the worst being in June with 2,692, and then even more throughout the year, with a total of 8,500 in the game industry that was laid off in 2022. Another thing to add during 2022 is when Gen AI was released to the public. So pretty much people are starting to replace artists with AI, and we all saw how that went down. And on top of that, Disney just announced like 2 months ago that they're going to be relying more on generated AI. So now instead of sequels, prequels, and recycled franchises, we are now going to get some AI slop served to all of us. Oh boy. Yeah, so 2022 was the start of the decline of the art job market. Now we get into 2023. Oh, what do you know? 10,500. Oh my. It got worse. And even the tech layoffs was really bad. Like, look, we're seeing 2022, it started in Q2 for tech layoffs. And then at the beginning of Q1 in 2023, that's when the layoffs for the tech bros started. Now, let's look at 2024. And so far in the game industry, there has been 14,000 layoffs. And then for tech layoffs this year, there have been, I don't know, a lot. It has even gotten so bad that now smaller game studios are starting to close. For example, in Microsoft, they closed 4 of their game studios. What was it? Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Games. And for some reason, there's people out here that think the economy is doing great. Like, these job layoffs are not happening whatsoever, and prices aren't increasing, and shrinkflation isn't happening. And this guy explains it so good just how bad us young people have compared it to like the previous generations when they were our age.
I'm sorry. If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house. We busted our behinds. We had to bust our...
Hi, Whoopi. I'm Freddie. I run numbers on the internet, and I got to show you something. The minimum wage in 1980 was $3.10. It is now $7.25. The average salary was $12,500. It's now $59,000. And the median household income was $22,000, and now it's only $77,000 for a 3.5 times increase. However, rent was $243 on average. Now it is $1,900 for a 7.8 times increase. The median house price was $47,000. It is now $419,000. And the big one, college, was $2,300. It is now $30,000, 13 times more expensive. Our median household income, to feel like they did back then, for rent should be $171,000 for the family. And for college, it'd be equivalent to our family making $286,000. And to remind everyone, the median household income is $77,000. So Whoopi, with all due respect, I think millennials and Gen Zs have it at least 8 to 10 times harder than you all did.
Amen, brother. So if your grandparents are saying just do what I did and hustle hard, show them this video, okay? And on top of ridiculous prices and a terrible economy right now, there are also a terrible job listings. Let's first look up my dream job, which is a concept artist for games. Concept artist in the United States. And oh look, there's nothing. Wow, what a shocker. The closest thing, I guess, was a character illustrator. Wow, look, over 100 people clicked apply. What does the job entail? Lets you produce high quality painted characters, backgrounds, symbols, and logos. I thought this was a character illustrator. What are we doing making logos? Oh, not only do we have to be an illustrator, but you also have to have experience in AI prompting. How nice. And they don't even have how much they would be offering for salary, so. And let's look at Rockstar Games. They're probably a little bit better. Over 100 people applied. Developing key art images, advertising print for web. This is all standard stuff for illustration. Oh look, they put the salary, not bad. But this is in New York. Okay, so Manhattan, New York, 85 to 120. Okay, and let's just see. New York minimal living wage. AI says 7,000, but I don't think that's true. Yeah, a single adult needs to make at least 138, and that's probably even more now because of inflation and everything rising in costs. Plus, you also have to account how much tax goes to the state too and to the federal government. So you're probably looking at like you're getting like what, 70K from this just after taxes. I don't think that's enough to live on, especially not in Manhattan. Let's look at some animators. Oh my goodness, look, it's a concept artist, and just like most concept artist positions, they're all like only senior, and 100 people applied, which is insane for a senior position. And these are probably all mostly people who just got laid off. So you're now competing with like experienced pros, and if you just graduated from school, they're not even gonna bat an eye at you. Okay, let's look at some graphic designer positions because those are probably a little bit more popular. We've got a digital graphic designer right here. Over 100 applicants. Okay, so not only are you gonna have to do the email design and scheduling for the emails, you are also gonna have to edit videos for digital channels, as well as producing toolkits and multiple versions of those edited videos, as well as working on the website, creating graphics, and doing the social media stuff, graphics, imagery, video, as well as optimizing content and being the person that does all the insights and data. That's like a whole entire marketing team packaged into one job, one digital graphic designer. And 100 people are applying for this. How much are they even paying? We don't know, but you best believe it's probably going to be really small amount of money for a crap ton of work. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's look at another graphic designer. Over 100. Again, let's see. What do they want you to do? Work with team members, study design briefs, schedule projects. You're going to be developing illustrations, as well as taking the initiative for marketing across social, web, email, packaging, video, and print channels. Wow, so you're going to be juggling all of that as well, just like the previous graphic designer job. And we don't even know how much they pay. Okay, and lastly, let's look at 3D artists. And there's not a whole lot. There's a 3D industrial designer, and this is probably like CAD and stuff, so not even for games. What? You also have to do graphic design? Hold on, graphic design and Cinema 4D? What is this? An industrial designer. Okay. How much do you pay? It doesn't say. Wow, this over 100 applicants. I'm surprised. Oh, a lead 3D artist. Okay, over 100 applicants. Oh, they put the compensation. That's nice. Where is it? New York. As we went over, this is not going to be enough to live in New York. At least it's remote, so maybe you can, oh, no, in the office and remote. Just kidding, you have to live in New York. What would you do? 3D CGI art direct, spearhead the art direction, lead review, mentoring junior artists, lead the creative concepting, standard for a lead, I think, in my opinion. 3D department management. So pretty much what I'm seeing is they just want an art director, but for less amount of pay with a worse title. Yeah, so that's a look into the art job market right now. It sucks. And on top of all these ridiculous job listings, a lot of these listings, the companies aren't even hiring for. Like, look at this. I found this Reddit post, and this was only 7 months ago, okay? So they were like, I see my company hiring, but the hiring managers have super high expectations, as we saw in the job listings. And I have seen them hire with like 10 plus experience for junior positions, reposting over and over just because they have found their right candidate. Nowadays, I see managers rather keep a position open until they find the ideal candidate simply because they don't want to do any training. They expect the new candidate to bring in experiences from other companies and to give suggestions on other ways things can be done. Yeah. As we saw in the job listings, they want people with crazy amount of experience for junior level pay. And with these job listings that you don't even know if you're going to get hired for because maybe they're not even looking for you because you only have 2 years experience when you actually need 10 years of experience. All the people that just got laid off are also applying to the same jobs. For example, there was a creator of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and he lost his job, and now he's selling his sketches on, I don't even know what this is, I think eBay or something. Yeah, he's selling his sketches on eBay in order to make money because he lost his job. Even Riot artists have been laid off. Like, look at this 3D artist. Amazing stuff. And this is who you'd be competing against if you're looking for a character artist position, okay? Is there any way you're getting a job over him? Probably not. So pretty much companies right now have the pick of all the candidates as well as stacking up as many skill requirements as they want for the position because they have the power currently. Also, I think I saw that there was a tax break for companies that were listing jobs, and like they do better if they show that they're listing jobs because then people are like, oh, the company is growing, like this is a good thing, economy is booming, wow, we're doing so good. In reality, they're just listing it because they want their current employees to think that helps on the way when they're like drowning in mountains of work. Ghost jobs, man. It's a crime. It should be a crime. And y'all, it's not just the game industry or the entertainment industry or the art industry in general, okay? There are your average Joes working your average jobs that are also struggle busing on this job market right now.
Don't have enough experience for these people to hire me. How am I supposed to obtain this experience if you're not giving me that opportunity to do so? Like, take the chance on me. I promise you I'm good. I'm very stressed out because the school year is fast approaching. I don't know what to do.
I'm being so humbled by looking for service jobs in the 2024 job market. I'm currently having trouble finding work in the major I studied in college, so I've been applying to a ton of service jobs. I feel like no matter what the job is, they all want you to have a bachelor's degree, 1 to 3 years experience, and the pay is like $20 to $22 an hour. I also just got rejected from Whole Foods too, which is rough. I have experience working at a grocery store and my availability was pretty open, so maybe I somehow just scream red flags. But anyways, I just wanted to share my thoughts in case anyone else feels like they're getting humbled, and cheers to hoping to find a job so I can stay in San Francisco.
This job market is literal garbage. Absolute garbage. No one is hiring. No one is fucking hiring. So how the fuck are we supposed to pay the shit that we need to pay for? Make it make sense. I went to a staffing agency and asked the lady, hey, what is the process to get a job with you guys? She told me, well, we actually haven't been able to get anyone any jobs because no one's hiring. No one is hiring! How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
I have shit that I need to pay for. How am I supposed to pay for it if I don't have a job? And people keep telling me, just be positive, just be patient. Be patient for what? Be positive for what? I just want a job. Can I have a job that's not so shitty, or they are just all garbage?
We do not talk enough about how applying to jobs is literally a full-time job. And I know when I tell somebody I'm unemployed right now, I'm still applying to jobs, their immediate thought is this bitch is sitting on their ass all day doing nothing. And I can't afford to do nothing. Right now I'm balancing a part-time mediocre job with applying to jobs for 5 hours a day, coming up with new strategies to actually get an interview. And then when you get the interview, you actually need the energy for the interview after being told no so many times. It's just insane. And it's crazy, we just have to deal with the cards that we're dealt. If you don't have a connection in this job market, you're literally screwed. Like, there's no way for you to get above anybody else other than just submitting a cold application and waiting for the lottery to happen. And it's just annoying to me that my degree almost feels meaningless in a way. Like, I did all of that. I did 16 years of school to be sitting here begging to work. Like, make it make sense.
Job market is currently so bad right now, I don't know why there's not full-blown panic on the streets. It's getting to the point where gig work like DoorDash and Instacart aren't hiring new employees. I personally have been looking for a 9-to-5 job for over a year. I've literally applied to, like, no exaggeration, 1,000 jobs. It's gotten so bad that I've had to, like, contact the labor department and fake a disability to get into the work disability program. And guess what? Not only can they not find me a job, I had to have a new caseworker because the caseworker I was working with got laid off. And they've been looking for a new caseworker for me for, like, the better part of 2 months. Like, really, it's gotten really bad. I've heard horror stories and rumors that it currently looks bad to have a BA or higher on your resume because these companies don't want to pay bachelor's degree wages anymore, reducing your chances of getting hired in the first place. If what people are saying on social media is to be believed, it seems like most of us are either unemployed, looking for work, or underemployed. I think there's a lot of people out there who are, like, lying about not getting financial help from somebody in their life, because you cannot be unemployed and have all this money simultaneously. It doesn't make sense. Wall Street and corporate investors have destroyed the job market, and it's only going to get worse from here. And I know I goof around on this app a lot, but I'm being completely serious when I say we need to have a revolution in this country now.
Yeah, so it's not just you and me, it's everybody else that's struggling too. And there are people who got laid off and are now getting contract work for the very same work that they just got laid off from, just without all the security and benefits. Tart got laid off from Riot Games working on the skins, and now they got approached by an outsourcing company within hours of being laid off to do skins for a flat rate per skin. Even Tart says, I love my job. I couldn't imagine not being a concept artist, but it's really, really painful sometimes. I've had a lot of moments wondering if society at large gives a crap about people who make what they like. There's nothing against the outsourced studios. They've been professional, they're doing their thing, and they've offered more money than other gig they've gotten since the layoff, but it's just incredibly painful. At least they get paid more. Also, DreamWorks had a big layoff too 9 months ago and are now also outsourcing 50% of the visual effects, 50% of lighting, and 70% of matte painting. All the crowd artists have gone too. Huge chunk of rigging. As I said, what they're gonna do? Just outsource it because it's cheaper. They don't have to pay for the benefits because benefits is a lot more expensive. So pretty much right now, it's cheaper for companies to do contract work over full-time employment. And there are multiple reasons as to why that is cheaper. For one, there is tax when it comes to the companies paying people to work for them. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, yeah, employers have to pay a tax upfront in order to pay their employee, and the employee also has to pay a tax in order to get paid. So instead of like making 100K, you only get 50K because a percent of that gets taken out from the employer, and then another percent of that gets taken out to go to the government for your income tax. And another thing that makes full employment more expensive is, as I said before, benefits, because medical insurance and dental insurance, that stuff costs money and it's pretty expensive too. So theoretically, if employers weren't taxed before paying you, you'd probably make more money. Or at the very least, they would be able to hire more employees so that you don't have to do so much work. So employees now are currently either getting less hours because there's not enough work for them, or they're getting all of the work done on them because their fellow coworkers just got laid off. And on top of that, no one's hiring. And this makes everyone anxious to not want to leave their job or go looking for a new job. And since there is no job prospects and the cost of living just keeps going higher and higher with shrinkflation and inflation, it's looking very dire for all of us. And on top of that, there are those of us who just graduated, like yours truly, and who haven't been able to find a full-time job because now they're competing with everybody else and the job market sucks right now. And I'm seeing my friends that have gotten jobs in the game industry are now getting laid off too. It's terrifying. Plus, you got to take into account all the student loans that we had to take on in order to get these jobs that we aren't being hired for. Like, interest accrues over time, and that's a crap ton of money. Having to pay all that off with like not even having a job. How are we supposed to do that? How are we supposed to start our adult lives when we're not making money and we just keep accruing debt because we can't pay off the debts that we got in order to get the job that we wanted? And if it's not clear to you right now, we're probably going to be hitting a recession in the next couple of years, if not next year. So yeah, it's probably going to get worse. So what can us artists and creatives do? Let me first address all y'all high schoolers watching right now. Your number one priority should be not starting your adult life getting in debt, okay? Don't take on any student loans. Don't take on any credit card debt. It's gonna make it hard for you to start your life and to get some money going, okay? So just trust me on this, don't get in any debt. For my fellow college grads watching this video, number one, pay off your student loans as fast as you possibly can. As you know, interest increases, so paying it off ASAP is your number one priority. And at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. So work part-time, work some random job that you can find, do whatever you gotta do. And for recently laid off workers, the same thing applies to recent grads. Okay, we're all suffering here. Sucks balls. And as I said at the beginning of this video, as bad as the economy is right now, there is a light at the tunnel, I think. Because if you can't find a job in the creative field right now, like most of us, maybe now is your time to build your dream project. For an example, this artist that I just discovered like last month, she is building her dream game and it looks pretty good. Or maybe you could start your own animated show like this studio Glitch, who is making all these really cool shows. If you haven't seen The Amazing Digital Circus, you should definitely go watch it. So no one's hiring, no one's believing in you. You gotta step it up and believe in yourself and start your own dream project, okay? This is the season of making dreams come true. Especially since no one's hiring and you have the time, so why not build it right now? I know we are all suffering in this, so comment down below what your dream project is, what you plan on starting to build, because we could all use a little bright and some uplifting motivation at the moment. And if any of y'all are starting a YouTube channel, let me know so I can come and subscribe. Okay, that's it. I will see you next time.